Hello all, I am Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I am bringing to you the twin for yesterday's video, and yesterday I spoke about character-driven books, and today I'm going to speak about plot-driven books, or what are the things which I consider in order to tag a book as a plot-driven story. And if you haven't watched it, I'd suggest you to watch it as well, but you need not have watched it in order to watch this. They are just like companion videos according to me, and I'll try to drop a link for the video in the description below. So today, in order to present my points which I like to say in order to consider a book or a story as a plot-driven one, the book that I've chosen is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. Now, the main aspect of this book is the story or the murder mystery thriller that's going on throughout. And even though the characters are not that greatly developed in the first book in the trilogy, I did end up liking this a lot because there's a lot of things that's going on, and I'll tell you what are the things which I liked and what makes plot-driven books also very, very great. The first thing that I'd like to say about plot-driven stories is that they are always fast-paced most of the time, because in character-driven stories, the plot is not the main focus, so it's not a matter of importance if the plot is not progressing at a great speed. But when it comes to plot-driven books, the plot is the main focus, the characters are not that much important, and the story keeps on progressing. If you're a person who likes fast-paced books or fast-paced movies, I'd highly suggest you to try plot-driven books, because they're always fast, they're not at all boring most of the time, and you just keep on flipping the pages. It's not like you're going to stay stagnant at any place. You're just going to experience the story at a rapid speed built by the author, and most of the times most authors end up doing a great job in writing plot-driven stories. The next main thing which I consider to make plot-driven books what they are is the amount of twists that are put into the story by an author. Now there are a lot of books which I can tell as examples, and this is one of the main books. If I can say, I'm not going to reveal the twist in any way, because I don't want to spoil such a good book for anyone who has not read it. And if you have read this book, you must know what I'm speaking about. There are a lot of twists in this one. It's great. And in character-driven stories, we don't get that much twists because we are spending a lot of time within the character's head, which is not at all a bad thing. It's a great thing if you ask me. We get to learn a lot more about the person who's the character. And in plot-driven books, the twists, they matter a lot, man, if you ask me. Plot-driven books are like watching a movie or watching a good TV series rather than just reading a book. I'm not telling reading books inferior in any way. They are great in every way. I'm just saying that the experience, it's wholesome when it comes to watching a movie, because twists, everyone wants them in any type of media when it comes to entertainment, and I'm sure that plot-driven books are great when it comes to twists. The next thing which makes a story plot-driven for me is the world building that is put into most books. World building doesn't just matter when it comes to science fiction or fantasy books. It comes to fiction in every sense. If you're reading a story, you need to, you need to be able to see the story happening in the place that it is discussed to be happening. For example, if you're reading this book, which is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, a huge portion of the book takes place in Sweden, and the author does a great job of describing the weather of Sweden, the way of people in the way of life in Sweden, how people dress, how they eat, what they eat, what's their usual lifestyle, how is the media there, how are people working there, how are the banks working there. All these things are greatly explained. That's what I love a lot about plot-driven books. The next thing, according to me, which makes a book plot-driven is the story or the focus given to the story rather than the characters. Now, if I'm looking to read a book just for the sake of listening to a story or watching a story happen, I'm obviously going to choose a plot-driven book over a character-driven book, because most of the character-driven books, they don't focus on the story, and the main focus is obviously the characters, but there needs to be some amount of plot to every book, and the story, that's what builds the plot in every book. The stories that are told in plot-driven books are always more intricate, they are a bit more fascinating, they are even more complex. They can make you relate to certain incidents from life while you see things happening within the plot. the pace at which the plot progress is also a great thing when it comes to plot driven books. And the story, that's what matters the most. If you want to get a great story, I'd not suggest you to read character driven books, because they tell you a story of a person's life, but you can resonate with it, but there's not going to be many things that are so fascinating when it comes to character based stories rather than plot based stories. The last thing that I'd like to tell about books in order to consider them as plot driven stories is that the nuggets or the Easter eggs that have been dropped throughout the story while narrating it to the reader. Now, there are a lot of books which handle this one in a great way. I can say the entire Harry Potter series. In order to understand certain things going on in the 6th and 7th books, you get beautiful things that have been laid down from the 1st and 2nd books in the series. That's a brilliant thing, if you ask me. People who concentrate on the plot do such intricate things, and that's how they build the world around you. They just consume you within that world. They make you experience such a great thing. It's magical, if you ask me. Not everyone has the talent, not every book can do it, but I'm sure that every plot based book can do that, because as the plot matters a lot, the author tries to engage the audience to be a part of the story, and that's great. That's one thing which I love a lot about plot driven books, because we don't get a lot of Easter eggs and nuggets when it comes to character stories. Though I love character driven stories more, this is one thing which I love the most or a lot about plot driven stories. That's it, guys, and if you do agree with the points which I discussed in this video, don't forget to mention them in the comments below. Even if you disagree with any of the points, also drop them down in the comments below as well. I'll try and discuss with you guys my opinions on certain things, and we'll try to sort things out, okay? And if you found this video enjoyable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.